Welcome to Sampstra Games, the place to find new strategy games, and welcome to my short overview of Strategic Mind the Pacific. Now, Strategic Mind the Pacific has come out into full release on the 25th of October after entering early access on the 3rd of April. It has been developed and published by Starny Games and it costs 24.99 euros. It is a turn-based strategy set in the World War II period, depicting the war between the USA and the Empire of Japan, which in the Pacific Ocean with focus on historical accuracy. Now, you can play as both the USA.
Following the treacherous and unexpected Japanese attack at Pearl Harbor on the morning of December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
Or the Empire of Japan.
Since time immemorial, the Japanese were renowned warriors, stalwart, honorable, and bound by duty.
Now, this game mostly focuses on naval battles, but you have all three types of units. You have naval units, ground units, and aerial units, and they are very, very cool. So let's talk about the turn-based combat, because that is the essence of this game. Now, there's a lot of uniqueness here compared to other turn-based combat games, and I want to kind of talk to you about it. So the first thing is, in most turn-based combat games we've played, you usually have sort of like a one movement, one attack kind of thing. Sometimes the sort of action points, let's say, are combined, but generally it's usually like you move and you shoot once, maybe twice if you have some ability. That's not how this works in this game. In this game, first of all, the movement is huge. You can really move a lot. But the amount of times you can shoot is even better. For example, one of the ships, even from the get-go, can give you like 4 different shots on other ships, and you could still use your anti-aircraft guns to shoot even more. So it's more like you have an amount of action points per type of a weapon, and you can shoot with all of your weapons from one ship if you'd like. It allows you to do a lot of stuff. And imagine if you have one unit that can do 4 shots and you're combining different units, you can really, really do a lot of damage. You also have units like carrier ships on which essentially you have your airplanes, so you can move them from there. So for example, you can watch me use 4 different planes to destroy an enemy unit. So there's a lot of things you can do in a unit turn or an entire turn, because in one turn you can move all of your units, obviously. Now, another pretty unique thing in this game is unit parts. So the way this works is that each ship or unit is divided into different parts. And you can also focus your attacks on specific parts. So for example, you could try to focus on the enemy ship's engine to make sure that the enemy ship will not be able to move. Or you can attack their anti-air units to make sure that you can move your planes then to attack, and then they won't be able to defend themselves against that. Another thing that this game has is ammunition. So each ship has some amount of ammunition. For example, you can see that this ship has 25 out of 25. You get supplied that from a seaport that is currently over here, and that resupplies your ships at the end of each turn. But it is something to watch out for, especially if you're moving away from your home territory and you have no supplies. Now, as you would expect in turn-based combat games, you can level your units up. The leveling up is instantaneous, which I think is quite cool. So you can actually level up your units how you need them in that specific combat. And right this turn, maybe I need this unit to do that, so I can immediately level it up. Then we also have equipment, which is quite interesting. So you can equip your ships with specific type of bullets that do a certain amount of damage, for example, to a specific enemy unit part, like I've mentioned before. You can also unequip and re-equip things as you need. Now, another very interesting thing about this game is that some units are temporary. So when you start off a new mission, you get a certain amount of units that are just temporary and a certain amount of units that you're going to be keeping between missions. So you want to focus on leveling those up. So that's pretty cool. You can also acquire your new units using your prestige and then place them to reserve on whichever turn you want. This game also contains fog of war. The way this works is that you can kind of see around your units, obviously, and then you can also send out seaplanes to check out where the enemy's units are. And aside from seaplanes, you can also use sonars to try to detect where enemy ships are, like we just did right here. Also, you have return fire, defensive fire. There's just a lot of stuff in this game. Now, to help you handle all of that, the game has a pretty extensive tutorial. Then it also has in-game tips, and tips that are kind of like when you start off a unit, it says something to sort of give you a tip like this.
There are no enemy submarines in the area, right?
It's essentially hinting you to send out the seaplanes before you do that. There's really lots and lots of things in this game, which I think is pretty amazing. The graphic of this game is also very cool. You can zoom in pretty close in the game and you have some really, really nice cinematics. The game also has a day and night phase, so in the night a lot of damage is greatly reduced, so you want to utilize that. And I think that's it. Let me know if you'd like me to do a longer let's play on this game. And click on the right top to watch Tenderfoot Tactics, or you can click on the right bottom to watch Albion Wars. I'll see you there.